Hey, welcome back to the infamous podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl on a
This is Friday night,
no less.
So, our strange release schedule has been remedied for now. Anyway, welcome back to the show. If you haven't had a chance yet, we launched our live Fretboard episode this past Thursday. Go check it out. Special thanks to Fretboard. Special thanks to cousin Kenny, Ken _ Diesel on Instagram. And also special thanks to the toy department for providing a $50 gift card for someone to win. And lastly, thanks to Flying Forward Apparel, even though I paid for the shirts. Thanks for making them, Brad. They were awesome. Yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
No, thanks to all of that. And I did watch the Instagram live, some of it, of the toy department today.
Oh, cool.
And that's a place I need to go check out.
Yeah. Well, next time you come up on a Saturday or something, we'll go over there. Anyway, but no, it's fun. I thought it was a good show. Thanks for everybody who showed up. For those 4 tables of happy hour people, thanks for sticking around. That was cool.
Yeah, you
that rowdy table of guys. Yeah, that rowdy table of guys. Thanks. You guys made it fun. So afterwards, they apologized for hey, we weren't too loud, were we? It's no, we're fine.
Hey, it's a brewery, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing it at a bar. So.
Also, that Wawa, yeah. I really like that.
Dude. Yeah. Okay. So if you're in Cincinnati right now, go to Fretboard at some point this weekend or week or whatever. And there's a beer. It's called the Wawa. It is a maple vanilla blonde. It tastes just like a waffle.
It's really good. And it smells like heaven. Heavenly waffles and syrup.
So, I only had the one. So,
I have to say that I am more a pancake guy.
Same.
A good waffle. It's not up to the level of a good pancake for me, but hey, still.
So I make killer waffles, killer amazing waffles. So, but I prefer pancakes as well.
Do you make Death Star waffles?
No, I make legit Belgian waffles in the waffle maker that you flip over.
So yeah, that's the one. Like First Watch. I love their Belgian waffles.
Yeah.
But again, a good waffle is really good. I'll just take a good pancake over that.
Oh yeah. So in Cincinnati again, Sugar and Spice. If you like pancakes, go there. There's one the main one is in Reading, and then there's one downtown.
Noted.
Cool. All right. So welcome to Breakfast Food Talk with Brian.
The Breakfast Club.
That's a movie, and that's
a show. Oh no.
I think there's a couple different shows called The Breakfast Club now.
Yeah.
But all right. So we're talking Henry Cavill.
A cavalcade.
Right? That's his name?
Cavill. A cavalcade of Cavill. Say that 20
A cavalcade of Cavill. So Darryl put on his super simp suit and went hunting for news today.
I believe that's Anna, the StarWars girl that does it.
Yeah. Oh.
Catwoman?
You have your Henry Cavill, I have my Anna super simp suit. So
yeah.
Anywho, so just real quick, we are only talking news today. We don't have an actual main topic because we've been so main topic heavy lately. There's just a bunch of cool stuff that happened this week, and it's we're going to talk about it. And next week, I think we'll talk about Red Notice, even though it's got The Rock in it. I'll watch it because Darryl wants me to.
It's got Gal and Ryan
yeah.
in it too.
So yeah, but I mean, The Rock is I don't know. I'm just not really that into Dwayne The Rock Johnson anymore.
Yeah, I had a fun go of some of his movies, and again, don't get me wrong, I am looking forward to Black Adam, but he does play The Rock in every movie.
Yeah, the Central Intelligence with him and Kevin Hart.
Mm-hmm.
That movie's hilarious, and it's hilarious because he's playing The Rock. Yeah. So anyway. All right, so we got a bunch of news about Highlander, actually, this week.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds.
Which is nice. Do what?
He was Ryan Reynolds. He was attached
to that's right. He was. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
I love Ryan
Reynolds. Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't make this.
God, could you have imagined his Scottish accent? This is Ryan Reynolds. No, Ryan, that's Australian. Oh, sorry. I don't know what that was, Ryan. My bad. Nope, still not Scottish. If it's not Scottish, it's crap. It's closer. Anyway, yeah. So he's taking on the lead role of Connor. So is this confirmed that? Oh, yes, it's confirmed that it's filming this year, but is it confirmed he's actually Connor McLeod?
That's the thing. I don't know. It did say that in the article. I was hoping we were getting maybe another McLeod. So if they wanted to bring Connor in, they have that.
Well, Connor died.
But this is a reboot.
So
I was like, wait a minute, did Thanos kill him? That's what I was thinking.
No, I think Edge did.
God, some of those movies. But yeah, I don't know. I think this article did say he's filling the role. Again, while I know Christopher Lambert is not the greatest actor in the world, I love him as Connor McLeod. I would like them to do, and again, I'm very happy that Cavill is taking this role because he has the physicality that's going to be required, but he also, and again, they mentioned this in the article about they want someone that can connect emotionally with a character who's been around for 500 years and has gone through the things that he's gone through. And Cavill, again,
The Witcher is perfect practice for that.
Yeah, it really is. Which, by the way, season 2 drops December 17th.
Yes, sir. I do like, so here's what I'm actually really excited for is we got Chad Stahelski directing.
John Wick.
Yeah, well, he directed the first John Wick, right?
Yes, the first John Wick.
And arguably the best. Anyway.
Still it's my favorite of the 3 Wicks. And again, I love all 3 of them, but I think that's my favorite one. Here's
the thing, is like with John Wick, quick aside, it's actually fun to just watch all 3 of them in a row.
I've never done that.
I highly recommend it.
I might do that tonight.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so like it's like you said, he's got the physicality, and like, but I look at him and I'm like, I mean, he might be too handsome, but he could play the Krugen.
Oh yeah,
like him as the bad guy. Think about that.
I didn't think about that until now, and I'm you know what? I'm picking up what you're putting down right now. I actually would love to see him in that role again. Spoiler alert. Like even with Mission Impossible, for the most part of the movie, even though he's kind of like shady, he's on the side of the good guys.
Well, he was a bad guy the minute he showed up with a mustache, you knew he was the bad guy.
But it wasn't a twirling mustache.
Yeah.
But I mean, to see him from the start be just this centuries long, just brutal killer, that would be very interesting.
Yeah, so what I would like is kind of like the first Highlander, is it picks up with him in the present, right?
Yeah.
And then we might get a flashback if we need it, right? But I don't think we necessarily do. I like the idea of him being a different McLeod, or just a different guy from Highlander, the Highlands. Like, he could be a Campbell or something.
Yeah.
My name is Connor Campbell from the clan Campbell. Prepare to lose your head. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah. So the thing about this, in this article, they mentioned that, and this is like a big trope now, or a big phrase they use in Hollywood now, more grounded in reality. Dude, you're talking about immortals. Okay?
Who burst into lightning when you cut their heads off.
Yeah. The quickening. There is no... I see this way too often now, especially when they're usually doing this when they're talking about superhero movies grounded in. We don't need to be grounded in reality. You know what we need? Just to be entertained. And again, that's the most important thing. So I just thought that was funny when you're talking about freaking immortals. They're more grounded in reality.
Yeah. The whole grounded in reality thing is what's the word for it? Oh, played out.
Yes.
I don't want to go see things grounded in reality. I want to go see fantastical things that make me go, what?
Exactly. Yes.
And make that stupid Ben Wyatt face with my face half opened and Anyway. But no, I mean, I think this is pretty cool. And then Bounding had an article about it with him as well. So we were talking from Screen Rant. They have new details emerged. It's pretty much the same thing, but this is the same, people talking about it. My only concern is that it's Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Deadline has this as well, saying Connor.
Okay, so that's pretty much confirmed. Yeah. I mean, it's not a huge thing for me, but I just kind of like the idea of him, like you said, being someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see it kind of like a cameo, just be kind of cool, of Christopher Lambert, maybe in the background or something like that.
And don't forget Adrian Paul.
Yes.
Because
despite how bad the movies were that he was in, the show Highlander, I love that. It was actually one of the shows my mom and I watched together.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say he's the torchbearer for Highlander. He's the one who made it even more popular.
Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
I am Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod, even though I have a Canadian accent.
That's a good call, because without that show, well, you could argue this actually would have been a positive. We wouldn't have gotten some of these other Highlander movies, but Highlander would have just been long forgotten from, just a movie from the 80s or something along those lines. And
so I love the first one. The second one is a goddamn travesty. I know the third one is bad, but I 100% love it. Like, I bought the VHS of that one.
Is that the one with Mario Van Peebles?
Yes. And Mario Van Peebles, like, I don't know where he went or what happened to him, but like, yeah.
I mean, just think of, the movies in the 80s and early 90s he was in. He had Heartbreak Ridge. Was that Solo?
Solo, yeah.
Movie?
Yeah.
Solo.
With Kurt Russell, where they were the androids, or the whatever, humanoids.
Yeah, and Posse.
Posse is great.
That show, the movie, the cowboy movie, The Harder They Fall, is leaning heavily on that, even though I'm only halfway through it. But it's leaning heavily on Posse, and so far it's not. It can't hold a candle to that movie. It can't hold a candle to Posse. But yeah, I don't know where he went. But yeah,
it says American film director now. Oh, he directed New Jack City.
You know what? I think I knew that, and it just.
I had no idea.
It was one of those things that just fell by the wayside.
I always liked Mario Van Peebles in stuff that he was in, and he's one of those guys. It's like, where did Mario
are they
go?
Now? Yeah.
It's a Mario. Let's see. Yeah, he hasn't, like, he's in something called a TV movie called Salt and Pepper as a pastor. I mean, he's been acting. All right. I just haven't watched anything he's been in. Drumline and New Beat. He played Mr. Bolton. Red Sky. Yeah. I mean, he's been acting, so that's good. That makes me happy. Even though it's nothing I really watch. Let's see. TV. Oh, he was on A Million Little Things. He must have been on after I stopped watching. Z Nation. I never watched that one.
I never watched that. No, I watched that for like 2 episodes, I think.
He was on Blind Spot after I stopped watching. He was on Bloodline after I stopped watching. I sense a theme here. Anyway. But no, I'm excited. I want them to do, like, they need to arguably the most important character is the sword.
Yes.
It needs to be, the katana with the dragon hilt and, the, just like, I mean, it's so badass. So.
Yeah. So,
but here's the other. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What I was just saying, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Cavill and Chad can put together.
Yeah. Here's my only issue, right? Is that he's so big. Who are they going to get to be like a convincing threat to him as a bad guy?
Yeah.
So, because like they can't put some like beta in there. No. It's like, oh, we're gonna put Camille Nanjiani in there, and it's like, yeah, no, nobody believes for a second Camille Nanjiani can stand him. We're gonna put Batista in there. Nah, Cavill's like 4 inches taller than him. Still, it's not gonna work. So
Yeah, it'll be
Cavill
curious
might
to
be
see.
8 inches taller than Batista. Let's be honest, but yeah, you're right. It's gonna be curious to see, and like, are they gonna do the whole love interest thing? Or are they gonna, I don't know. So I'm excited to see what they do. I'm also excited to see what Strahelski does with swords instead of guns.
Yes, that is.
Because
I just want to see the unique take he has on the action portion of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, because like what was it? The scene when Neo was in the third one where all the Agent Smiths were coming at him and he was using the like the tetherball thing as a bow staff.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. And I know he was doing the stunt stuff for that. So
okay.
Maybe that's maybe that's just a precursor of something cool that we get to see. But more grounded in reality. So anyway, no, I think it's cool. I'm excited. I'm ready to get on board with that. All right, so switching gears to more Henry Cavill. You also found a couple Superman related articles from this week.
Yeah,
which is funny because we've been told he's done playing the Man of Steel.
DC and Warner Brothers, and again, just to get into this article, is he talks about wanting to explore this thing. This is one of the titles of one of the articles, the psyche of Superman, and he actually had a couple good quotes in this, and one of them, the best one, and he's right about this. Yet, and again, I don't know if this is his, how should you say, naivete. But in regards to Superman, he said Superman is an ideal. Superman's an extraordinary thing that lives within our hearts, which that is absolutely true. And this was kind of on the tail of him talking about Black Superman, Val-Zod, and how Michael B. Jordan is looking to bring him to the big screen. And he also mentioned, and I don't have this here unfortunately, he also mentioned how Superman, he's more than a color. It's more than the color of his skin. Which again, right. What Superman represents, that he is 100% right. So when I said the naivety is just because I don't think these creatives behind the studios, and I definitely know the creatives in the comics, don't look at it that way.
Yeah. So here's the quote. He says, "It's exciting. Superman's far more than skin color. Superman is an ideal. Superman is an extraordinary thing that lives within our hearts. Why not have multiple Supermen going on? Joaquin did a wonderful Joker movie. So if that's not tied into the rest of the franchise, they have multiple Superman comic book storylines happening at the same time." So, I mean, he makes a great point, and he has not had a fair shake at, like, kind of like Brandon Routh, right? There hasn't been that fair shake at a real Superman movie yet with him.
No. And one of the other things he mentions was how his creative choice in at the end of Man of Steel, when, spoiler, he snaps Zod's neck, and that cry, which again, that still gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. But he even said he had more emotional takes that they didn't use, and that's what he wants to explore. The problem with that, and the one problem I will point out with that, they should have explored that in Batman v Superman, and they did a disservice to the character in the sense of they never went back to that. They never said, okay, what type of an impact does killing his last remaining, as far as he knows, his last remaining, not relative, but people in Kryptonia, how does that affect him? And how does that affect him taking a life in general? Right. That could have been that should have been at the center of, or one of the things at the center of Batman v Superman. And instead they just pumped way too much in it. And I will absolutely say I've told you this multiple times, that the director's cut or the ultimate cut of that is a far superior film. It still fails though, as much as much as it is above the theatrical version, it still fails the character in the sense that it doesn't even feel like a Superman movie. Like,
well, yeah, and to be honest, it was a movie that did not need to happen the way it happened.
right.
They were so eager after like the pop that Civil War got with the heroes versus heroes that they were like, oh well, we need to just do this with an aged Batman. Like you know, if you're gonna do Batman versus Superman, do them both at their prime, right?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Doesn't that make more sense?
It makes more sense to me because that way you'll be able to tell more stories as well.
Correct. But no, I mean, I like his take. I like that he wants to explore that. I like what he said. I mean, his quote about the black Superman. You know, the thing is like, don't just make Clark Kent black. We've talked about this before.
Right.
That's just not, that's not okay. That's blackwashing an iconic character, especially when they've made, like, Val Zod is a cool ass character. Calvin Ellis is a cool ass character.
Yeah, and as far as people talking about, you know, tokenization, there's ways to do it where you have a character that's interesting. And again, I've only read small portions. I've never read anything about Calvin Ellis, never read those stories, but I've read a little bit of Val Zod. And there are some interesting things that they put into there. Like the guy, you know, he's been in a bubble for most of his life, so he's agoraphobic. He's, you know, he comes out that is a very interesting thing. Thinking about a character that is super powerful but is scared, is afraid of open spaces. Or you could do a lot with that with talented writing. I just don't know if we have that, you know, at Warner's, and that is my concern with things like this. And while I love Cavill's earnestness, I don't think that, like I said, the creatives behind this will have that same earnest desire to tell a captivating story without not just dribbling in,
right,
oversaturating it with an agenda message.
I got to the bottom of this. I apparently did not go far enough in this article before. So at the very end, the last paragraph, it says, although a black Superman film may remain a contentious topic, it's important to remember that no idea is inherently flawed. It all comes down to execution. Miles Morales faced similar criticism when he first took up the mantle of Spider-Man. More on that in a second. Yet, he has since become one of Marvel's most iconic modern heroes. Hopefully, Coates and Abrams will be able to do the same thing for their version of Man of Steel. All right, first off, one, he did not just pop up and was all of a sudden Spider-Man. He was this kid. He got bit by a spider. He actually met Peter Parker. And when Peter Parker died, Miles then became Spider-Man to try and live up to the example that Peter had set when he sacrificed himself in the Ultimate Universe. Since Miles has come into the 616, he has been a tokenized version of Spider-Man.
So they've lost sight of everything that made him
Everything that made him Miles, and like what was it? The old milestone with Static, the rebirth of cool. You know, everything that made Miles cool has been saturated and watered down by Marvel's inane casting of writers. Because they don't pick writers who can write. They don't pick writers who are fans of characters. They don't pick writers who even like comic books. They pick writers that match the agenda that they want to push in that book.
Yes.
And that's why, I mean, I told you about this earlier. This past week was the 10-year anniversary of Miles donning the black and red spider suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his 10-year anniversary book sold a lot of copies, especially for what his book has been doing lately. But a 10-year-old reprint outsold it by like 30,000 units.
That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing as all get out. A 10-year-old reprint. So this who wrote this? This Brendan Kim. Shut the fuck up. Hopefully, Coates and Abrams will be able to do the same with their version of the Man of Steel. Well, one, Coates does not know how to write fiction. And he's racist.
He's awful.
And he's racist. And J.J. Abrams is a vampire and sucks the life out of every franchise he puts his tiny little hands on. And I still want to kick him in the taint.
Is that for what he's done with Star Wars and stuff, or for Cloverfield?
Oh, I mean, it started with Cloverfield. It's just gotten to be a harder and harder kick with every movie. Anyway, no, Coates is awful.
Yeah,
Coates ruined Black Panther in his run. Coates ruined Captain America in his run. He is not a fan of these things. He's a fan of inserting himself into what he does. And Brendan Kim, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, kick rocks, dude.
Wow, that was a beta way to say that.
I'm trying to be nice and not curse.
I don't want to be nice and not curse anymore. I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of playing nice.
Actually, to be honest, I just love saying kick rocks.
Yeah, kick rocks is a good one. I was gonna say pound snow, but you know, I mean that's one I like to use. Pound snow, you know, pound snow, you mook.
I might have to use that now.
Pound snow is a good one. So, and especially if you say pound snow, you mook. Thank you, David Greenwalt, for giving me that from Angel. I think season 3 or 4. But yeah, just to kind of put a button on this, like Cavill, I think look wise is the most perfect Superman we've had. Look wise,
yes.
Cavill story wise, I think was grossly underserved, not quite as underserved as Brandon
Routh.
Brandon Routh. But close, right?
Yeah, what could have been for both of them. And again, you're talking to someone who loves Man of Steel. But
I contend in The Return of Superman that Brandon Routh and Sammy Huntington are the perfect Clark Kent, Superman, Jimmy Olsen combo. The perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
not a James Olsen.
No. Not the real Jimmy Olsen's older brother who stole his little brother's name and hobby. You know, that was really dumb.
That was so bad.
It's like, come on, Smallville, come on. You've been better than this the whole time you've been at it. Anyway, all right. So let's move on to the Disney Plus news that you have so graciously. By the way, thank you for putting the show together for me this week. Well, I was so busy, with for putting everything together for Monday, and then I had stuff on Tuesday, and then I went and watched AEW in Indianapolis on Wednesday. And I stuck around so I could get my picture with Cody Rhodes. I was 4 feet away from getting my picture with CM Punk.
So close and yet so far.
He turned around and went down and back up the other aisle to get pictures with everybody else. I'm like, man.
Did you lean over the railing your head down and just leaned over the railing like a noodle when he walked away?
I did not. Honestly, I didn't really care that much, but I really wanted to get that because Angel loves CM Punk. Mm-hmm. And she didn't want to go to Indianapolis with me, so I went with my buddy Juan, and so I don't know. But we chatted with Justin Roberts throughout the night. That dude is cool as shit.
That is really cool. You could do that. So you're able to do that.
I'm not quite sure what kind of product he puts in his hair to get it to stay like that, but that was impressive. That was the most impressive thing. All right. So Disney, the plus, if you will, is having a rough week.
Yeah.
So it says here, just from the Hollywood Reporter, in the slowest growth quarter since its launch 2 years ago, Disney added only 2.1 million subscribers. But one Wall Street expert says momentum can build as confidence in the content slate grows, similar to the dynamic we saw with Netflix. I will say this. Netflix, when they put their mind to content, to creating Netflix originals, and buying that one show with the dude from The Sopranos that was the Swedish gangster thing, and the werewolf thing with Famke
What is
Janssen.
that called? Yeah.
Anyway, so those are two things that they bought and then put out as Netflix originals. So that's kind of what kicked the ball running.
Lilyhammer?
And then, yeah, thank you. And then House of Cards is what shot it to the moon. That first season of House of Cards is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so like Disney has been so slow with rolling new things out, even before the pandemic, right? Even before there was shutdowns, even before all of this. And the thing I don't understand is they have the volume that they can shoot all of this on. They can shoot every series on a different volume soundstage around the world. Why is that facility not in use 24 hours a day, pumping out cool looking shows and whatnot?
Right. Yeah.
You don't have an answer.
No, I don't. But I was just going to say, one of the things in the article it mentions, this was the slowest growth quarter since the inception of Disney Plus. And
yeah.
And again, the reason why, and one of the things, we know there's more competition. You have Paramount Plus, you have Apple Plus, you have what is the other, Peacock Plus, there is a lot more competition than there was even 2 years ago. I also think to kind of piggybacking off of what you said about the volume is just their inability to be consistent with getting things out.
Right.
Also, not necessarily giving fans what they want.
Well, that's the case in point right there. I'm going to run through a little something here. So their 2022 shows look like this. Moon Knight. Okay, great. Like Moon Knight has fans, but Moon Knight is not in itself like something that's going to get people to sign up, right? They have She-Hulk. For whatever reason, they cast that tiny little woman from Orphan Black to play She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Tatiana Maslany. Yeah,
which
Maslany.
again, I liked her fine.
She's a good actress. She's a good actress, but like Miss Marvel, the 16-year-old Kamala Khan. I don't know if you saw the screen grab of her in like the Carol Danvers costume. Mm-hmm. But it was I had to swallow from throwing up.
Well, I actually saw the teaser they did for that, and again, might not be made for us. It just
no.
And I don't mind that costume because as a teenager doing that, that's the least of my worries. It's just, again, the agenda in the sense.
But yeah,
of
but I mean, people are mad because of like they were like she's not dark skinned enough and she's Pakistani, not It's like shut up, just shut up. What happened to Best Actor for the role? That's what people used to want, right? Let's see, Echo with the Maya Lopez series about a deaf superhero who will be introduced in Hawkeye. Agatha, House of Harkness. Like, no. Yes, she stole scenes in WandaVision. And Jack Schaefer is going to return to write this, but no. Let's hold on. Let me get my ass on. No. Anyway, X-Men 97. They think that they can do a sequel to where this one left off. Let's go He-Man Revelations there. Spider-Man freshman year, an animated series following young Peter Parker on his way to becoming Iron Boy. A whole Marvel Zombies animated series. Why?
I don't. I'll let you continue, and then I'll have my thoughts.
Yeah, hold on, because there's more. Secret Invasion. Who cares? Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Who cares? Ironheart. The worst token character that has ever been put to paper. Riri Williams is an awful, awful character. And it has nothing to do with her being black. It has to do with the fact that she has the worst motivations. Started out like you thought she was a supervillain, and they're like, oh no, she's a hero. And they're going to make her a teenage genius who can create her own Iron Man armor. Bob Chapek has apparently told them they are not allowed to use Robert Downey Jr.
Yes, I saw that.
So, what if season 2? So, great. Who cares? I Am Groot, a series of shorts following Baby Groot. There's a Groot and Rocket cartoon that's on the Disney Plus app. Go watch that. It's based on the Scotty Young comic. Plus, we still have Hawkeye coming out. Yeah. So, of everything coming out, the only thing I'm remotely interested in is Hawkeye. And that's partly because I really like Haley Steinfeld.
So I'll
shut up.
Pseudo disagree with that. And I actually thought the teaser that we got from Moon Knight is very interesting. I love Oscar Isaacs. So Hawkeye, like you said, and She-Hulk in this sense, I just don't know where they're going with this. So like I said, I like the actress. They give us what, a 1 second clip of her as She-Hulk.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Other than that, I love the episode of Marvel Zombies of What If. I don't need a whole season of that. I don't.
No.
Ironheart, Riri Williams. She's like borderline sociopath. Yep. Echo, really? I mean, really? Spider-Man freshman year.
You know who? Hold on, wait. You know who was a deaf superhero in the comics?
Who's that?
The person whose series she's being introduced in.
Oh, you mean Hawkeye?
Yeah, Hawkeye. What? Clint Barton was deaf? Hold on. Wait a second.
Yeah. You forgot.
Stop the presses.
Yeah. You forgot Armor Wars, by the way. Who cares? Secret Invasion.
I would not say I forgot Armor Wars.
It's again, look, this is just a lot of stuff that most of the stuff there. And again, I'm not going to lie. I will test it out and see if I like it or not. Like I said, there's only 3. Well, and again, She-Hulk is iffy, but I am looking forward to Moon Knight. I'm definitely looking forward to Hawkeye. Other than that, out of all those, that's it. Like Miss Marvel, again, might not be made for us. I don't like that. It's not that she, is, they're tapping into, her Muslim heritage, which again, as a character, they should. It's the fact that, and again, there's the article with The Bounding talks about this, where she says brown girls don't get to save the world, or brown people like me, or something like that.
Right.
And the article,
what about Rhodey Rhodes?
Yeah, the article refutes that statement there, and it starts off with saying, "What about these guys that came from nothing? What about these people here?" And so that's on the wrong foot right there. And it doesn't stop with Marvel.
Yeah.
The Obi-Wan thing. Again,
I'm not talking about that. I'm not.
That.
No, it's I do not believe that that's what they're actually going to do.
I really hope not.
And if it is, Skywalker Ranch deserves to be burned to the ground because they don't deserve to have it anymore.
Now, I did not watch the Boba Fett featurette. I watched about 30 seconds of, with Den of Nerds was watching it. The one thing I did watch, and I thought was really funny, it gives nothing about what the show is, but the Willow TV series with Warwick Davis. Yeah. There's a featurette like 3 minutes where he introduces his younger castmates. You have to find that and watch it. It's freaking hilarious because he basically talks down to them the whole time. It's hilarious. It does nothing about what the show's going to be, but I just thought that was interesting.
Well,
but yeah,
Warwick Davis is hilarious. So
yeah, but Disney Plus Day again. I think today the stock fell again. But one of the things this article also mentions, or one of the articles, I think we have 2, is that they might need to look at expanding to more adult-oriented content. Because if you're wanting to expand your subscriber base, if you want to compete with all these Netflix, with Hulu's, with the Paramount Pluses that have shows of, for people of all ages. See what I did there?
I do. I liked it.
You're one of the few people that would get that, but you're gonna have to go with more than just sometimes PG-13. You're gonna have, and again, I still don't know what they want to do with the Netflix characters like Daredevil and Punisher and all that. I'm still not sure where they're going with that.
Nowhere. I mean, like,
They
I
keep
mean, maybe
talking
the
about it.
movies, but
Yeah,
they're not
keep
going to do
talking about
shows
it,
with
but
those characters. And putting that stuff on Hulu does not help Disney Plus.
no, it doesn't.
Because it's
No.
not about we have this many subscribers
That's not the
across
point,
all
yeah.
of the packages. No, that's not what like investors want to see. That's not what the street wants to see.
Right.
And to be honest, as someone who, my subscription is coming up here in a week. And it's like, as of right now, I don't want to keep it.
Yeah, and this is what Mothis Nathanson says, or analyst Michael Nathanson. He echoed, he makes a comparison to Netflix, where how Netflix dipped and then it had that resurgence. And he says the admission that I almost said DC, that Disney Plus growth will reaccelerate when content spending reaccelerates is consistent with the recent experience at Netflix, where the growth slumber created by the pandemic's pull forward of subscribers was finally shattered by record amounts of new content dropped in the last few months of this year. Again, you're talking about Netflix, whose and again, we can talk about how Netflix they have great content, they have terrible content. The thing is, their content, the breadth of their content is far
Right.
exceeds what you have on Disney Plus.
There's legitimately something for everyone on Netflix.
Yes.
Legitimately.
Right.
And you look at all the controversy with The Closer from last month. And the thing is like Netflix didn't take that down. They didn't bend to the pressure because it's popular and people want to see that. And they know it's like, hey, if we start taking this stuff down, if we start just like willy-nilly doing all this stuff, like we're going to lose subscribers. They already lost subscribers over that Cuties thing.
No, they lost
that they never got back. So
right.
The other thing I think is going to hurt is like for the year, the Disney price, it's going up $10 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some people, that's just too much.
Yeah. And again, especially when you have so much competition. And again, we talked about the joke is we started this streaming thing because we didn't want to pay all this money for cable. Right. And now you have all this stuff to choose from. If you want it all, it's like much more than cable. But again, you also have those people that can pick and choose. And when Disney Plus came out, was it $5.99 when it started?
No, it's like $3 something for like 3 years if you like signed up early enough. But like, yeah, I mean, like I subscribed to Starz so we could watch Heels, and like that ends in 10 days for us. Like great. I'll probably pick up Showtime for a month when Dexter's done, and watch the new season of Dexter.
Yeah.
Not that I want to, but I'm morbidly curious.
Watch it.
I did not hate the later seasons of Dexter. I just really by the final season I was like, okay, like you have to kill him.
Yeah.
And when that didn't happen, and the whole thing of trying to hook him and Deb up, his adopted sister, was very Barry Allen, Iris West levels of creepy. So, she's your sister, Barry. She's your sister. Anyway. You think he smelled her hair a lot?
Oh, jeez.
He just walk up behind her.
Dude, I can't even think of. The image that's in my hair now, in my head now. When you said that,
she's sitting there trying to do her homework, and he just comes by and she's spraying him with like a water bottle. Beat it, you perv.
That is so disturbing. The fact that they went with that,
right? And it's not, and the fact that it doesn't take place in Kentucky, in the Turkey.
Really? Don't you mean Alabama?
I mean Alabama worked to West Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana, California.
I was about to say California.
There's so much debauchery there right now. But yeah, I think here's the other thing though, is the fact that their stock price went down 10%. A little over 10% actually. I don't know where it is right now. I don't know how it closed, but the price range, the the range of what they're offering consumers. You know, Hulu went up in price.
Mm-hmm.
I don't possibly think there's any way they could charge more for ESPN and get people to be like, well, it's only 38 cents. I guess I'll keep it. Oh, 45 cents. No, thank you. No, wait, I have to pay 45 cents a month and $70 for the UFC pay-per-views.
Yeah,
That's a hard no.
I tried to do that this past Saturday last week to buy, or 2 weeks ago. Well, yeah, last week to buy the UFC pay-per-view. Yeah, and it's just like, because it wouldn't. Yeah, I was like, I'll pass. So, I
just can't justify $70 for it.
Yeah, man. Remember when it was like 49? Like 49. Yeah. That's I can deal with that. You know, I can deal with that.
Well, it's 49, and like if there's 5 fights, it could theoretically last, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
if it's just all first round stoppages.
Right.
Which has happened.
Yeah. I mean, and again, this past card was a great card. I followed it, but again, yeah. But yeah, back to this. And the other thing, one of the things they were talking about is that, the marketing costs and the production costs have gone up, but the Premier Access, the Black Widow and Jungle Cruise were Premier Access, and I think wasn't Cruella as well. But
yeah, Cruella.
I think Cruella was as well, but they just point these out to they're not going to have that. So
right. Yeah, and I mean you look at like Shang-Chi didn't get that.
Right.
The Return to Senders did not get that. That was a stretch. Hold on. I mean, that was bad. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, but here's the other thing. It's for the quarter, right? The quarter of which Black Widow and Shang-Chi came out. Overall, not part of Disney, lost $65 million.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know the line items there, but one of those movies did not make money.
Yes.
And I'm almost willing to bet it was Black Widow.
I don't know, man.
I might bet your life on it. But
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's just that. I mean, you look at like, so Eternals is not going to air in China. They made a bunch of changes to it so it would air in the Middle East, even though they said they weren't going to do that.
Oh, Spider-Man. They did that?
Oh yeah. Spider-Man No Way Home or No Way Home is already like has a China release date. So what does that tell you?
Well, caters to what they like.
No, they don't have any of that woke crap in there.
That's what I mean.
Just,
yeah.
When
I say they, like, I mean China.
Okay. Oh yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, they think people on the right don't like woke crap. Like, I think the other thing too is like there's a bunch of countries around the world that do not allow intimacy in their entertainment of any kind, right?
Yeah.
And from what I understand, the Eternals has a sex scene, like not like a softcore porn sex scene, but like a lovemaking scene, and it's got some dude on dude action.
Yeah. And look.
And then the Middle East is all like,
how dare you?
Yeah. Pretty much.
I had to do it.
And again,
but yeah.
I see. I wasn't sure if it was the dude on dude action, but I when I heard they had a sex scene, that's it. Why? You don't need that. You don't need that in that movie. You don't need it at all.
Well, and then people are like, well, Iron Man had a sex scene. No, it absolutely did not.
No,
it had
did
the
not.
Aftermath. It had her in bed the next morning with Gwyneth Paltrow kicking her out, but there was no.
She still had one of the greatest lines in the MCU. It's like, yeah, it's all things, including sometimes taking out the trash.
Yeah.
That was great.
And then she gave her a jade stone. I don't know what that was all about. Goop. Oh, what the hell? Anyway, No, it's just they've lost their way. I have a friend who's pretty lefty, and you know, I enjoy conversation with him, and I enjoy getting his point of view. And he messaged me today, and he's like, and he did not call it Shang-Chi, but he was like, "What is going on with Shang-Chi?" I was like, "I don't know, I didn't see it." He's like, "What do you mean you didn't see it?" I said, "I'm not interested in seeing it." And he goes, "Did you see the Eternals?" I said, "Nope, not interested in that." And he's like, "This Phase 2 Marvel stuff has got to go." I'm like, "Brother, we're in Phase 4." He's like, "What?" Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, Phase 2 was like Winter Soldier, Guardians, Ant-Man, all the good stuff."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, Phase 2 was the peak of the creativity of the MCU.
Yeah, what they have so far done in 2021 has been nothing but disappointing. And that's on me seeing two of the movies and thinking one, honestly, I thought Shang-Chi was a better movie than Black Widow, but it still wasn't. It was middling at best.
Middling to fair.
Yes.
Although the Access Media critics will have you think it's better than Citizen Kane.
No, it was far from that.
So
and again, if Disney or if they keep pumping out content like this, that's not going to change their bottom line because people, again, we go back to this. You have many choices now. If you're not getting what you want from these people over here, well, I have all these other 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people over here I can choose from. So again, instead of, we always say, story first.
Right.
Make it interesting. Story narrative, characters.
Boy howdy, you're right. Yeah.
Do that and you'll be fine. Yeah. And you know what how Marvel became, or the MCU became what it is? By doing exactly that.
By telling good stories.
Yes. How Star Wars became the sensation that it has across the world over the last 40 years by doing just that.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
It's just do that. But what about just do that. Just do that. And everything else will fall into place.
Right. If you can't write a story that's good enough for people to identify with character in some way,
that's on you.
That says more about you than your audience. Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes, 100%.
All right. Cool. Let's move on to our next other as we stick with the House of Mouse. Some other Disney content. Things have been pushed back. Let's start with the Spider-Man leaks. That were air quote leaked by John Campea,
who did not think that they were real.
He sure put his watermark on them, though.
And again,
so there's conspiracy theory going around that he was told, "Hey, here are these pictures. Can you release them?" And then feign ignorance.
Considering the stuff that goes on in media nowadays, I would not doubt that for a second. I'm not saying that I believe that happened, but if it came out to be 100% true, I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
Well, we've also talked about this. Like, they've built up so much bad will between what's been going on with Black Widow, what happened with Shang-Chi, and then the Eternals now. They have to do something to get people excited to come in to No Way Home. And if that means showing Toby and Andrew and Tom and then Charlie, that's what you have to do. I will say the picture of the Spider-Man, it just makes me hate Tom Holland's costume. It's just like, I don't know. It like Toby's is the best out of the three. But I would rather see Toby's like in the same material as Tom Holland's. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So, but like they got the spider right, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's so to have John Campea do that and then be like, oh no, it's fake. But I'm definitely more excited about the fact that like maybe we'll see Daredevil, not just Matt Murdock, in here. This is obviously the broken multiverse, so like I kind of like the idea though that maybe Charlie was like hanging out in Hell's Kitchen doing his thing while Pete was doing his thing in Queens.
Yeah.
So,
and this is going to be a huge make or break type movie for the momentum of the MCU going forward. Like, again, we talked about Black Widow. There are parts about it I love. Florence Pugh, I loved her in this. It was a massive disappointment. Shang-Chi, better than Black Widow. Better than I actually thought it was going to be. Still wasn't good. Eternals, I have not seen that yet. I will see it sometime in the future. I just don't know when. I don't have the, I don't have the energy to, there's nothing propelling me to want to see it.
You don't have the gravitas to want to see it?
I don't think you would call it that. But
you have the restraint to not see it.
Yes.
Anyway.
But this is going to be huge. I mean, think about this year. This year for the MCU started off strong with WandaVision. Then you had Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was a massive disappointment. Then you had Loki, another massive disappointment, at least for us.
What was the second one?
Oh, Sylvie. I'm sorry.
No. The second series you talked about.
Oh, I forgot what is that? What do you call it?
Virtue Signal and the Neutered Soldier.
Yes. Yeah,
and then Sylvie.
Absolutely that. Yes. And Sylvie. And then you have
I refuse to call it Loki. It's Sylvie.
It wasn't Loki. That was not Loki. That was not Loki. And then you had What If, which was fun. It didn't propel anything forward. Which again, I like What If because it was a fun outlet. It did not move anything in the MCU forward. And then, like I said, you had all the movies. Spider-Man, this No Way Home is a huge. There is so much pressure on Spider-Man No Way Home to do well. Because
I told you this is their solo moment, right?
Yes, it's their water.
This is the. All right, we've put out a couple really bad movies, and one movie that even the Access Media was like, no, this isn't it. No bueno, if you will. And now they're gonna do this, and if this doesn't make money, they're gonna have to like go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And I know we'll talk about this, the article when Doctor Strange is going through what they call some people call it significant reshoots. I don't know if that has to do with just tailoring it to what No Way Home talks about, or they're seeing a trend in some of the things they've done over this past year, and they're saying we might want to clean this up a little bit. I don't know. Again, this we still have 6-7 months. I don't know. I don't remember the.
Well, all right, here let's just skip to Doctor Strange real quick, okay? Yeah. Doctor Strange sequel undergoing significant, in quotes, reshoots. This is from Hollywood Reporter, so by Boris Kitt and Aaron Couch, and the subtitle is "The Doctor is on call till Christmas, and the actors and crew shoot 6 days a week until the end of the year." They're shooting 6 days a week for I don't know when they went back, but for 2 months.
Yeah,
you can make an entire movie in 2 months. What are they redoing? So how significant? Insiders say that Cumberbatch and company are undertaking 6 weeks of shooting, if not more, working 6 days a week. Sam Raimi remains as Helmer, and Sylvie head writer Michael Waldron is still on board writing the new material, which is terrifying. Terrifying.
I shivered when I read that.
It is unclear what actors on top of Cumberbatch are involved. The crew involved is familiar with the Marvel method and worked on recent pickups for the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home and additional shooting for next year's Oscar Isaac series Moon Knight. One source played down the severity of the shoots. Even while in the middle of the production, Marvel is scheduling you for more shooting, adding that the size and complexity of Marvel movies necessitate additional photography. I have yet to hear about a Marvel movie that went back for 2 months plus of reshoots. The last time we heard about a movie that was pretty much done and going back for a couple reshoots, it was Solo.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure. It was
And
Solo.
6 months later, they had a whole new movie.
Solo lost money.
Relos are weird. Go ahead. Keep it going. Say it.
I don't remember.
It's the nice way of FJB. Anyway, so here's the thing. Scott Dickerson left. He'd co-written the script and was gonna direct it. And creative differences had him leave in January 2020. Raimi and Waldron were brought on. I tell you what, Sam Raimi directing this movie is as bad for me as Michael Waldron writing it.
Yeah. Again, when people think of Sam Raimi, most people, when you talk about superheroes, you think of the first 2 Spider-Man movies. Or did he do all 3?
He did all 3.
No, there weren't 3. There were only 2. So
no. There were 3 because we had a whining, crying, dancing, douchey Peter Parker. And what Spider-Man 3 really showed us is Topher Grace would have been a far better choice to play Peter Parker.
I remember when I heard,
fight me.
I honestly remember when I heard this news that he was directing Doctor Strange, and I was,
Yeah.
That's pretty much, and even now, there's no difference now. And I know I haven't seen anything about it as far as footage, but I don't know. This is going to lead. Well, Spider-Man: No Way Home is going to lead. Has a big is a lead-in for Doctor Strange 2. That and
it's
combine that
supposed
with
to be
WandaVision.
picking up from WandaVision, yeah. So I just, and then you have, and again, there are a couple sources in this article. One said, this is par for the course, not the 2 months. I'm sorry, it's just not. And another one saying, like you said, you can make a whole movie in 2 months. So how much of this are they retooling and why? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, the combination of Raimi and Waldron scares me. We liked Heels. We did. Michael Waldron was the showrunner of that, but the best episodes were the shows that he didn't write.
Yeah.
So, and we got 6 of those. 7, 5.
And look, I know people can improve vastly in a short amount of time. I just don't want to bet a major movie like this and what it means going forward for the MCU or for any franchise to bet on that he's improved since.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, his writing credits are Rick and Morty, Loki, or Sylvie in Heels. That's it. He was a producer on Heels, on Sylvie, Rick and Morty, in something called Good Game. He's entry level. He just is. I mean,
and look, everybody starts at entry level in some way, shape, or form.
But there's no reason to hand this guy a tentpole movie.
No, it's not. There's no reason. And I hope he knocks it out of the park. It's not that. I really hope it is kick-ass movie. Just based on what we've seen so far, again, going back to that, the improvement, someone owning their craft, I just don't see that in the short amount of time where he gave us, what he did. I don't see that. I don't see him improving that much for not Doctor Strange. And I don't think Sam Raimi is the type of director that will be able to take a decent, not good script and then turn it into something fantastic.
Correct. And I mean, like, in the last, let's see, since Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi has directed Drag Me to Hell, which was not good. Oz the Great
fun
and Powerful.
movie. I really liked it, but it was it wasn't very good.
It wasn't good. Oz the Great and Powerful with Zach Braff, not good. Rake was a TV show that he directed 2 episodes of. He directed an episode of Ash versus the Evil Dead. He directed a short called The Black Jindola, something like that. He directed a couple episodes of 50 States of Fright, and now he's got Doctor Strange, and then post-production, and then something called King Killer Chronicles in pre-production, and World War III announced.
Wait, whoa. Did you say King Killer Chronicles?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a book series.
Anyway,
it's awesome.
Okay, I figured. But here's the thing. Since 2007, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is his 7th thing since 2007. Now, he's been producing Up a Storm, which is great. He was one of the producers on Spartacus, which was an awesome show. He was a producer on Ash versus the Evil Dead. From everything I understand, it's a very fun show. At the end of the day, they have an entry-level writer and a washed-up film director that they're putting in charge of a movie that's supposed to set the direction of the entire MCU franchise.
Big gamble. Huge.
Red flags. Just red flags everywhere. If this was a girl and I was in my 20s, I would have totally dated her, but like that's how bad the red flags are.
It's all the red flags. I thought it was a carnival.
Right? It's like, what is happening here? Is there funnel cake? Is that an elephant ear?
Oh,
anyway, all right. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, we just need to not get our hopes up.
Yeah. Although 2021 and the MCU has done a bang up job making sure I don't get my hopes up.
We know what the basement is now. Let's not go below it. We've seen your sub basement. We choose not to go below it. Anyway. All right. So the last thing for the Star Wars Disney other news, Patty Jenkins might be not doing Rogue Squadron now. So it's getting pushed back. She was going to do Rogue Squadron, and then for whatever reason, the greenlit Wonder Woman 3. But a whole bunch of stuff is getting pushed back from the DC Warner's side of things. Like, and this is like post-COVID stuff. This has nothing to do with the pandemic or anything like that. I mean, even the Avatar sequel got pushed back.
Yeah.
So that's like the everything thing here, but the indefinite delays for Star Wars Rogue Squadron and the rumors that like the High Republic is done, or I'm sorry, the High Republic is done, and the other Kathleen Kennedy shows and things are all on hold, and that the Ruin Johnson trilogy is done. Like, Star Wars is in a Disney Star Wars. Let me rephrase that. Disney Star Wars, not Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is in a precarious position.
Yeah, it's a table that somehow is being held up on 1.5 legs because, and I don't know if you're like which article you're looking at with this one, the Hollywood Reporter one or the white knighting of Scott Mendelsohn about.
I mean, I specifically pulled Scott Mendelsohn because he's like, other than John Campea, he's the biggest douche in our little corner of commentary.
Yeah, I read that article, and every excuse under the sun he gave Patty Jenkins for whatever.
So real quick, hold on. With Patty Jenkins, I don't know if you've seen like the YouTube videos popping up about this.
No, no.
There's a like most of them have her in this dress that like she just looks fantastic, and I just wanted to just call that out. It's just like wow, Patty Jenkins is she cleans up nice. Um, so I'm just putting that out there. Yeah, with Patty Jenkins, did you ever watch Monster with Charlize Theron?
No, I never got to that.
That's a really good movie. It won Oscars for Charlize Theron, and I think Patty Jenkins was at least nominated. I don't remember if she won or not, but it was well deserved, right? The first Wonder Woman movie, again, the first 2/3 was great. The last third, I don't put on her because we know that Warner Brothers was notorious for interfering, but I'm curious though, like, the Paramount's Cleopatra is getting prioritized over Star Wars. Like, really?
It sure sounds like they are subtly, or not so subtly, without saying it, I think they're abandoning this project. Because again, like you said, there's Cleopatra, there's Wonder Woman 3. What they're trying to do is say, hey, this has been pushed back, but don't worry about it. And then people will forget about it. And their hopes is you have stuff like Boba Fett and Mandalorian season 3 and some of the other stuff going on from Disney Plus side of things for Star Wars, that you forget that, hey, we haven't had a movie since that movie that shall not be named.
So here's the problem that just kind of looking at all of this and thinking about this, all of this traffic jam bottleneck of having to move things around and push things back, and things that have been done for 2 years now are finally coming out. They should have just been releasing this stuff during the pandemic.
Correct.
On video on demand for $25, making bank.
Correct.
Rent it for 20, buy it for 25, whatever,
And again, this is not just, Monday morning quarterbacking. We said this a long time ago when we started seeing this. We've been saying this.
I said this when they started canceling. I said this when Dune got pushed back for the first time, right?
Yes.
I said, just release it now. Release it on video on demand. I don't care what Villeneuve says. I have a 4K TV. It looked fantastic. I don't think seeing it in the theater I know seeing it in the theater would not have changed my issues with the story. I do think seeing it in the theater would have probably given me tinnitus based on what some of my friends have said. So,
oh, really?
Well, I mean, it's loud.
Doom.
I mean, not just the doom, but like just the overwrought score to that movie is just, it's too much.
They didn't have the restraint.
It's the desert. It should be quiet. Oh, so quiet. It should have been that Bjork song. Anyway, Hans Zimmer, speaking of, did we forget to mention last week with Army of Thieves that he did the score for that? I think we forgot to mention that.
No, I know we mentioned how we liked the score, but I don't know if we mentioned that he did that.
We did not mention that it was Hans Zimmer. Just putting that one out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, this is not good news. I mean, this is pushing all of this stuff back, moving all of this stuff around, doing, all of these reshoots and things like that. And like, as much as Mendelsohn wants to white knight here, it's still, talking with like, where is it? This past Labor Day, the Gal Gadot Chris Pine sequel would have certainly been a top tier worldwide blockbuster in non-COVID times. False.
No.
It was a objectively bad movie. Word of mouth would have killed that after the first week. Jungle Cruise, Cruella, and Space Jam's New Legacy and The Suicide Squad were coin tosses, but even a mixed reviewed Wonder Woman 84 would have been a 650 to 850 million grosser in conventional times. False. I think it was so bad, and I think they would have called out like the rapey nature of the Chris Pine's character and Wonder Woman. It would have gotten even more attention. But Jungle Cruise was never going to be a blockbuster. It was not going to be a Fast and Furious movie with The Rock. Cruella, at best, was going to make $400 million because it was a movie no one asked for. LeBron James is the most unlikable athlete on the planet right now. Nobody was
Yes.
going to see that in mass. The people who saw that went to see it on HBO Max. And the Suicide Squad, I'll give them that one. That one was a coin toss. That one solely depended on word of mouth.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, looking at all this, like Dune Part 2, he talks about that coming out in 2023. That's far too long to wait for the sequel to that movie to come out.
Yeah.
Because it'll have been on HBO Max for 2 years of people bitching about like, oh, this is so boring. And people like us bitching about like, oh my God, there's no story.
Mm-hmm.
So,
they cut out a major character that has
Yeah.
a major impact on the entire saga.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, why no narrator? So, all right, let's move to our last topic here. Did you like what I titled this section?
What was that?
Creative bankruptcy in comic books.
Oh, yes.
So, all right. DC is repeating the death of Superman to make Jonathan Kent the permanent replacement for Clark.
Allegedly.
Did you ever read? Yeah, allegedly. Sorry. Did you ever read The Death of Superman?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's fantastic. It
is.
It sold millions of copies. It was on newsstands. It came out in like the poly bag that you couldn't just read through it or anything
Mhm.
like that. This is the whole like thing here, right? Like you can't have one without the other, and then now what? You're just gonna you're gonna write off the character that got it all started.
Yeah, and one of the things I mentioned in this, like when I was taking my notes, comics are quite possibly in a worse position, if you believe that, than it was back in the day when they had kids burning them.
Oh yeah.
Because nothing these people do now, and when I say these people, I'm specifically targeting, DC and Marvel. Nothing these people do is genuine.
Mm-mm.
It is all self-inserts because I'm a bad writer or I have an agenda. And I love Gabriel El Taib's his video on apologizing because of the state of things. He mentions a great thing. He's like, talking about the artwork. Some of the artwork in these books are just amazing.
Oh,
They don't have stories to make the artwork shine. The artwork is good in spite of horrible agenda-driven stories that decimate. And I'm using this. I don't like it. I'm using it the wrong way, but evidently that's the way the dictionary uses it now. Decimating or destroying or just smearing legacies of characters that people have grown up with for 30, 40, and 50 years.
80 years for some
Yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah. In some of these, yeah.
But it's vaporizing, if you will. But I mean, if you look at go to the Bounding. Like, I don't care what you guys think about Bounding Comics. It's a fine website to look at and get things like this from. They've got the page from Superman 29, The Golden Age Part 1. And it's art by Phil Hester, who I'm a big fan of Phil Hester's art. It's really, really good. The next scene they have is Action Comics 1035, World War Rising Part 6, with art by Daniel Sampry, and Adriano Lucas. Again, like beautiful. And then you get down to where is it? Then they have a page from 1036 by Sampry and Lucas as well, and it's all beautiful artwork, and it's just garbage storytelling. And I'm sorry, but like killing Superman is just a stupid thing to do, because here's the thing: you can't not have Clark Kent around for 30 years like you did with Barry Allen. You can't not have Clark Kent around for 20 years like you did with Hal Jordan. Clark Kent is the cornerstone of your universe. I don't care what anybody says about Batman. I don't care about the fact that there's 40 Batman books out right now, making him DC's version of Wolverine and Deadpool on steroids combined. It's just Superman is the guy. Superman is the lead. Superman is what gets people into comics when written well. And he's not hard to write well. You just have to care about story. You have to care about comics, and you don't have to give a shit about what happens on Twitter.
Yeah. And care about, like I love that. You care about story and care about comics. It seems simple enough as it's that simple. And instead we get people who, as I mentioned, they want to speak for this, that, or the other when that's not your job. Your job is to write a compelling story with Superman, with Batman, with Wonder Woman, with Spider-Man, who doesn't matter who. And I'll go back to something that you said when we were talking about, the Disney Plus stuff. If you're not able as a writer to make someone of any ethnicity, of any gender, see part of themselves in a certain character, that's your failure as a writer. Because again, I'm not a kid from Brooklyn. They got a super soldier serum.
Wait, you're not?
Well,
you're super jacked. I just assumed that's how you got there.
We'll talk about this later.
No,
and again,
so hey, wait, hold on, real quick. Thinking Critical on YouTube, Wes did this. You can satisfy Twitter or your customers, or you can't do both. The link will be in the show notes. It was back from November 9th. It is a fantastic breakdown of this. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's great. I did see that. I didn't get a chance to check it, to actually go in depth with that. But I just go back to my time as growing up with comics when none of this garbage about identity politics and on all that shiza was around. You know who I gravitated to? Whichever hero had the best story at the time. Mm-hmm. Again, I had my favorites. Thor was one of the ones that I used to get a lot. I love the X-Men, some Captain America, some of the West Coast Avengers. I actually had, I think I told you this the other day. I actually had more Iron Man books than I realized when I was cleaning out my parents' house. I said, wow, there's quite a few Iron Man books here.
And I said, wow, you're the one.
I didn't realize I read that many Iron Man. Yeah. But again, it never had to do with me seeing myself because I identify with where they come from in the sense of, or their skin color. No, I love one of my favorites, Power Man and Iron Fist. That was another one. Yeah. I love that. Love those two guys together. Yeah. It was all about making these characters interesting and saying, oh, I love how they dealt with this crisis here. Oh, I could see myself doing that. And never once was it like, oh man, I only see myself in this guy because he's black.
Yeah.
No.
So, we've talked about this. I didn't see myself in Static because I'm black or grew up in an inner city. I saw myself in Static because he's a kid who was just trying to be a good person and not get into like trouble with like the different factions at his school.
Right.
And I like that. It's like, I wanted to avoid, being like someone who was mean to somebody because somebody else thought you should be mean to them. And, I'm not a rich billionaire whose parents were gunned down after going to see a movie. So obviously I couldn't understand that, but I still identified with Batman or more importantly with Dick Grayson, is who I really identified with as a kid. And at that point he was Nightwing. So, with the Teen Titans. But yeah, it's just everything has to be so superficial now, and that's why everything is so bankrupt. Your boy Zach on YouTube had a video a couple weeks ago about, how it seems like everybody who writes comics right now, at least with X-Men, is female in some form of non-binary, gay, whatever, and we'll just handle it the way they like to handle it. They have no interest in writing good comics. They have interest in putting themselves into stories and having proms and dances. That's it.
Wasn't there a X-Men where it was just a dinner party or something like
the
that?
X Gala. It was like a 10 issue like event, like just dinner party where they all showed up and like they wrote like Kevin Feige into it and like other celebrities. It was the dumbest thing ever.
Who was the editor there? Who approved? Who said, you know what, this sounds like a good idea?
What is Justin's last name? I think it's Justin White. I am not a robot, Google. So yeah, Jordan White, sorry, is he's the group editor of X-Men, and he is a joke on a rope. Like he was a Star Wars group editor for a while, and they're like, no. And so they put him on X-Men, which is arguably the most important IP at Marvel. And yeah, he ran Hickman off. After the amazing House of X, Powers of X, he ran Hickman off. They decided, we're not going to move on to the second act of your story. We're just going to stay in this first act, and everybody's going to be plants, and they're all going to go to prom, and nothing's going to make sense. We're not going to care about the story. We're not going to care about the characters. We're just going to suck. And for the first time in about 15 years, I do not have an X-Men book on my pull list.
Wow. That's
it's been that way for 2 months.
Yeah, that says it all right there. And the fact that you're going, it's like the whole Miles Morales thing and Miles getting his own clone saga, rehashing for clicks,
creatively
bankrupt. Yes. Yeah, this whole Superman may or may not. Again, they want him out of the way. We know that. And I don't know if it says it in this article or it was something else that I read or a video where it said it could be something along the lines of there may be copyright issues coming up on with Superman. You know what? Doesn't matter. The fact is, These people don't want this character and what he stands for to be the cornerstone of the DC.
No, they just want to destroy and break down everything that matters to anybody.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They're locusts who have come for our things and are eating them and leaving us nothing but the husk.
Can't say any better than that.
No. I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
All right. We've been so happy the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And then you gave me all this bad news today. Blame you. We should just talk about AEW.
Or it could have been an AEW Henry Cavill Highlander thing or something.
I mean, let's just put it this way. I was like 4 feet from Ty Conti a couple of times, and that made me so happy. One, she's awesome. Like, I'd love her in the ring. And two, she's so hot. It's just so hot. Oh,
you haven't seen her, anyway. I did watch the match there when she just boot kicked everybody in the face. So. Dude,
the boot kick to the corner that she does is so cool. And then her finisher is cool too. And let's be honest, Anna Jay equally as hot. So, did you watch the whole thing?
Yes.
Like all of Dynamite. So when Max Caster came down and he was rapping about Jungle Boy, and he was like, "You're not even cute, and you're my fetish." Was great. And then he goes, "You're so progressive, you leave your girlfriend with 7 guys." That's Anna Jay, who's part of the Dark Order. So that was great, dude. That got a huge, I don't know how the pop for that came across on TV, but that got a huge pop. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was I was cracking up. I have come around on Max Caster, the other guy from the Acclaimed, who has now wrestled 2 really big matches between Daniel Bryan and Jungle Boy over the last 2 weeks. I still don't know his name.
You're not even important enough to remember.
Yeah, his match had my attention, but it was because I wanted to see the cool shit Jungle Boy was gonna do. So anyway, all right. Well, yeah. So that's it. Go check out our live episode from Fretboard with Kenny from the toy department. It was amazing. We talked a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah, it was just fun. It was a cool show.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get to do another one next year. They're trying to figure out what they're doing to get that back up and running. So Mitch left, and thanks to everybody who brought toys. We collected over I think I counted there were like 60 toys in there.
So, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty soaked. Unfortunately, there's not like a convenient place to drop it off to Toys for Tots, so I just have to go to the Harley Davidson dealership by the house and just drop everything off there. So
you're gonna get a Harley too?
I am not allowed to go in there because I cannot guarantee I won't walk out with having bought another motorcycle. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you all for listening. If you like what we do, tell your friends about it. You guys subscribe and girls subscribe, and we love it. We love you guys. You're our infamous family. But we want to grow this more. So if you really do like this, definitely let your friends know, share, like and subscribe to everything. Go subscribe to our YouTube. That'll help us because we keep talking about doing more stuff over there, but there's just not the likes and views and follows there yet to really make it worth the effort. Yeah, I think you agree with that, right?
Yeah, I mean we could do some more. So we could still we
definitely could do more, but it's just kind of there's just a lot of production effort that goes into it.
And the production costs.
The production costs. It's super expensive. We're not even asking for money. Anyway, but yeah, no, thank you all for supporting us and listening to us all these years. And we'll see you next week at our regular scheduled time again. Right, Darryl?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Later.